I'm down here. I'm fixing to do the interview. Yeah, I gotta go.
I bet she get worried about you.
All right. No, she's getting off work. She's going to get ready for that grandbaby. She don't think I've done nothing at the house. We having to child-proof a little bit to plug in
Oh,
things, and we
yeah.
got a little gate up so she can't, because she's crawling everywhere. And put a little gate up so she can get down in the
I
kitchen.
bought one of them gates one time, and my grandbaby showed me how to fix it.
I know.
So
I
that
never
don't
forget
help.
when Andy was little.
That
We put
helped
those
me.
little clips on doors and cabinets. You know, you had to push it down to open it. And I ain't kidding. I just got through doing all the kitchen. He went right over there and opened it right up. I'm like, well, that didn't do no good, you know. So, but yeah, it's one of those things that
I got a little
I done
gate.
put all that stuff out, and a little mat. We got a little foam mat we put on the floor so she can crawl around and play on. So I got her a start. So all right.
Okay, you ready? Okay. Welcome to Daryl's Little Corner. You know, everybody wants to know who you are and what you're doing.
All
Because
right.
that's the way it is in Tippah County.
That's
That's just
Tippah
how
County.
we are.
That's
How
right.
we are. This is Jimmy Johnson, and I appreciate you coming. I really do.
I appreciate you inviting me.
Tell us where you're from.
Okay. I'm from Ripley, Mississippi. You know, born here, or wasn't born here, but I was raised here all my life. I married
Tell us who
Angie
you married.
Johnson. Angie Johnson. She's the current owner and operator of Sassy Scissors here in Ripley, and has been for the last 30 plus years. We have 2 children. Andy Johnson, he's a pharmacist and works for Walmart in Memphis. And I have one daughter, Haley Reed, and she does work for the hospital in Oxford, Mississippi. She does MRI, so she's in radiology. And we have one grandchild, Emerson James Reed, and she is a year old next month.
Oh,
You know, and we love her to death.
you got roots in Tippah County.
All my folks, my mom's side of the folks, the Clemmers and Reeds, we kin to all of them, you know, so. And
Okay.
pursuers, a lot of the pursuers around here.
Pursuers. Yeah.
Yeah, my grandmother that was my grandmother's side of the folks, is pursuers, so, yeah, roots right here in Ripley, Mississippi, or Tippah
And
County.
tell us why you want to be Chancery Clerk.
Well, this has kind of been on my mind, weighed on my mind for couple of years now, and I just been in contact with the current one, and it's just something that I've been in working for the public for the last 40 years of my life, and I've always enjoyed it. If it was in sales, as you know, taking care of people, and I've worked for Tippah County Hospital for the last 15 years, and I just enjoy customer service, and I see that. And I've worked for the supervisors basically for the hospital, and I could go in and work with our supervisors, and if it could at least maintain what we do in the Chancery Clerk's office, or possibly tweak something to make it a little better.
What would you do to improve it?
Well, like I said, the customer service thing is something we focus on very, very hard at the hospital. We want the public, and not saying it ain't getting done now. I don't really go in there that much, but I want it to be a great pleasure that you come in, we take care of you, and you feel welcomed coming in there and took care of in a fashionably mannered way when you leave there. You know, and that's just part of our customer service thing that we do at the hospital. I've done throughout my whole career, you know, and stuff, and I enjoy that, you know. So if I could, like I said, improve that, I would. If it's, you know, like if it's getting done great right now, just maintain that, you know. Like I said, if there's any way, if I can help the supervisors, any kind of money savings, you know, in that area, you know, I do that at the hospital now too. So just enjoy that. Just it's kind of a little competition.
Now, you've got a little experience in supervising people, don't you?
I have. You know, I've got leadership skills, and like I said, I've worked at the hospital for 15 years, and I've maintained 2 departments there for a while, and before that, I've had been over sales and had people working under me, So I got leadership skills. I used to own Tipple Lake store, opened it back up. It was closed for a while, and I bought it from Mr. Butler and his estate, and opened it back up and ran it 3 years. So had several folks that worked for me there. So I got a lot of leadership skills that I can take into the Chancery Clerk's office and apply where it could be applied at.
Well, now you run a crew there at the hospital, don't you?
Yeah, we got 15, counting me, 15 employees in my department that works for me directly under me. And I used to be, that's over housekeeping and laundry, and they report to me every day. And I used to be over maintenance for about 3 years too on top of that. And we finally promoted somebody within and took that part over after 3 years of that. It was that's where I get all the gray hair from. But yeah, I got a good crew of people there that works for me, and I think they'd vouch for me that I'm a decent manager to work for.
What does a Chancery clerk actually do?
They kind of cater a lot to the supervisors. They every meeting they have to go in and hold the minutes for them, and anything to do with Chancery Court fines and stuff, they maintain that, and they pay the payroll for the county comes from the Chancery Clerk. So anybody that gets paid through the county gets paid through there, and stuff. And then they do the land deeds.
And somebody's got in trouble, it's always Chancery Clerk.
Always Chancery Clerk in there. And not only that, they do land deeds, and stuff. So if there's land transactions, that it's held up right in there too. And there's a few other little features in there. They do stuff with marriage license and that kind of stuff too. So, but just a little. But your main thing is your court records, your land deeds, and the payroll for your county. So
We're gonna go back over that in a minute.
Okay.
Have you been to any of the board meetings?
I have not ever been to a board meeting. I've been to some of our hospital board meetings,
Yeah.
but so I
Well, I
kind of
just
got
wondered
into.
out of curiosity if you'd ever,
Yeah, I've never been to a
it's
supervisor
a lot of
meeting.
meetings.
Oh, it is. It
Yeah,
is.
it's a lot of meetings, and you'd be the one responsible for keeping the minutes.
That's right. That's right. And I don't have no problems with that.
Is it kind of like a secretary?
Yeah, it's basically, you got to write down. It's just like our hospital. We have a board meeting once a month, and we got a lady that's executive secretary, and they go in and they take the board minutes down. So that has to be written down because of if anything comes up out of it, if the lawyer needs to look at it, we have an attorney for the hospital. They can go back and read those minutes and kind of hold people's feet to the fire to that stuff.
Okay, then, and at a board meeting, if they decide to pay something, you have to issue the check
That's right. Everything gets paid
and keep
through
up
that.
with the bank accounts.
That's right. It's that I talked to a couple
A
of them
lot
here.
responsibility.
It's a lot. And people don't realize how much responsibility it is in that office. Because you got your state auditors that come in there, and you got to make sure that money's put in that certain account. This money's put in this certain account, and then you got your federal auditors come in there, and sometimes those don't see eye to eye. And it's kind of a little bit of a battle there. But I like a challenge. I like a challenge, and I ain't seen anybody that I can't get along with. And
Well,
work with.
when it's audited, you don't know when they're coming.
No,
Or
and
just
that's a
show
good
up.
thing. That's kind of like our hospital. We get state to come in there and do a state survey. You don't know until they show up.
Well, there's no point in coming if they tell you ahead
That's
of time.
right. And then that
Really
way. But anyway, and I like that. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it shouldn't matter.
That's right.
If they come today, tomorrow, next week, or what. So that's what I've always kind of held our feet to the fire at our hospital. Sometimes they'll run around like their feet's on fire. State's coming. We're in that window. We're in that window. I says, well, if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, we shouldn't.
Difference it make.
Yeah, it shouldn't make a big difference. So that's kind of how we maintain there at the hospital, and it's all worked out great, And like I said, I try to strive on that, and that's what you have your policies. County policies is the same way, and you follow those and the guidelines of what the state recommends, and you should be all right in there, So.
Everybody in that office is a notary public, aren't they?
You know, I'm not for sure. I know there's probably two of them. And at one time, when I was, when I owned Tipple Lake Store, I came a notary public, and I did that for the public there that come
What
in
do
and
you
need
have
something.
to do to be a notary?
You got to, basically, at that point, and this has been 15 years ago, you had to get bonded. You know, I had to have a $5,000 bond, and it cost me $250. I had to fill out some paperwork and send off to the state, you know, and then yeah, I think that included your stamp and all, you know. So that the bond was the biggest thing. You have to be bonded on that. So I did that, and then once I sold the store, I kind of let my license revoke because I didn't need it
Didn't
anymore.
need it.
Didn't need it anymore, you know.
You need it. But when you notarize something, does it mean that paper's right, or does it just mean that they signed it?
Well, it's kind of like you'll be a witness in that. So if two people come in or a person come in and wanted something notarized, and two people's names on that, you need both of those people there to be notarized. So I'm saying that y'all both signed this, y'all both agreed to this. I'm gonna notarize this, so I don't take one person's word over the other person's word.
I
So
know
you kind of be there.
when my husband died, he wanted me to have his car. I told him I got a car, but he wanted me to have his.
Okay.
And his two children had to go before Notary Republic and sign that they wanted me to have the car.
Yeah. That
I
way,
don't know, but that's how it was done.
that's the way it's done. And that way, if something happens down the road and one of the children said, "I really wanted that car," well, here it is. It's not only it's the paper's done, but it's notarized and it's finalized by that notary public. That
I just
you
wondered
signed
about
off on
that.
it. Yeah.
They
We
now,
got a
our
couple.
children, Shirley's kids get along.
Yeah.
We have
We
problems.
got a couple of notary
But
publics
I
at the
can see
hospital.
where some of them don't.
Yeah, I know.
Could be a problem later.
Yeah, I've seen
Could-
that in families.
If you notarize something and they disagreed later, could you be drug into court?
Basically, all you're going to be if you did get drug into court, you're going to say, "Well, I was there. Here's the two signed witnesses, and they agreed upon that when I notarized it." And that's all you can do on that. Whether they want to dispute each other on that, I think the judge is going to go by that and say, "Hey, y'all got it both notarized. There it is. Y'all both had to agree on it then when it got notarized." So I don't see how it would be effective to try to battle that. I've never heard of nobody trying to battle that. So
I don't know.
I
Some
don't-
folks don't get along.
that's exactly right.
I don't have that
That's
problem.
right.
But
When
some
it comes to
folks do.
money, sometimes it'll make two people
Different
feud.
thing.
That's right.
Different thing.
That's right.
Who does the homesteads?
The homestead, I think that gets done maybe in the, I'm not for sure if that's a tax assessor
I think
or
it is.
I think it's the tax assessor and Joe Aikens'
But they
office.
send it over
They
to
send it
Chancery.
over to that to get recorded, because they're going to record all that stuff in the Chancery Clerk.
Everything's recorded in
And-
Chancery.
yeah, that's
isn't
right.
it?
That's right. When I bought Tipple Lake Store, I had to go in there because somehow or another, in between two or three people before me, there was a square block of land where Tipple Lake Store is. One paragraph got left out of that, and it was a triangle. I had to go back to a previous owner and to get him to sign an affidavit on that and get it notarized, and took it to the Chancery Clerk's office and had it re-recorded and it back right in there. So it made that land all back like it was supposed to be, because it just got left, a paragraph got left out of the land deed.
That's
So
sad.
things happen, and I understand,
does, it
but
does.
it's, like I said, I had to do a little footwork on that, but we got it straightened out before I bought it,
Well, if you're not straight, nobody's gonna buy your stuff.
That's right,
That's
that's
true.
right.
How many work in the Chancery Clerk office, do you
I
know?
think there's 4 that works in there. I know 3 for sure, but I think there's a 4th one that works in there.
Okay, if something is goofed up, if something don't work out, would you get in trouble, or the one
I think they look at me. I think they look at the Chancery clerk. Even though that you got 4 people works in there, you're the ultimate supervisor over them 4 people.
I'd have somebody check behind everybody.
But I think they're gonna look at,
I'll go
if, say
jail.
if money didn't get appropriated right in
Yeah.
one account to another, they're gonna look at that Chancery
You know,
clerk.
sometimes it's not that the money is gone. Nobody
Just
took
got
it.
misplaced in a
Yeah,
different
it's
place.
in the wrong column.
You know, and that's happened, I'm sure. You know, it's just like when I owned Tipple Lake store. Somebody said, "You're there all the time." I'm like, "Well, if I'm not, I don't know what's going on."
That's right.
You know, so nobody's going to run your business like you are. So
Mm-hmm.
that I feel the same way about the Chancery clerk. If I'm not there and you got other people running it, you don't really know what's going on.
No, you don't.
And you're the one
You
that's
don't.
ultimately responsible for it. So, and I'm going to be there.
Yeah, if
I'm
they're
gonna
gonna
be
write up in paper that I took something, I want to know where it went.
Exactly right. You
Yeah.
know, if somebody asks me a question,
It's in the wrong
where's that
column somewhere.
I want to know, you know, before,
Yeah.
you know. So, like I said, if you're there and you're on top of your game, I think you're going to know,
Mm-hmm.
or you should.
Well,
you
it
know.
would be a clerical error.
And it happens.
Looked
We're
like
all-
if it was that you could go back and find it.
That's right. You know, it's just a check and balance. It's
Yeah,
a check
I
and
think
balance
so.
type thing. So,
But
you know.
that's one thing that we need to make clear to our viewers. They can't steal your money because they got these auditors coming
Oh,
in.
I
and
know.
It's
I know.
one checking against the other.
It's a check and balance system, you know. I mean, you know, you think a penny might not matter, but a penny matters. It can throw the whole system off over a penny. I've seen that do that. I've been there in places that did that. When I owned the store, I mean, even though I owned the store, I had responsibilities of paying that payment.
That's
I mean,
right.
I still had to check and balance on that. So I still had to pay for that fuel that I bought. You know, so I had to know where every penny was. If I didn't, like I said, you're going to wonder. I said, well, I can't pay for that fuel. I ain't got enough money in the bank. Well, where'd that money go? You know,
That's
so
right.
you got to know where everything is.
That's right.
If you don't, then you're in trouble.
I remember I worked in a convenience store one time, and there was like $500 in change, and you had to count every penny of
Yeah,
that
that's right.
going in, and when you went off shift, you had to count it again.
That's
And it
right.
was to make change for the drawer.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
everything in the drawer, you know, had to tally up with your cash register.
That's right.
And
And that's
like
the
you
same
say,
way.
a penny,
A penny
it
makes
mattered.
it. That's right.
It mattered.
I've been there, and I've spent several hours looking for that penny. You know, and you know,
I
you finally
can't-
find it.
If you go somewhere and they say, "Oh well, that's all right," I said, "Throw your
You know,
register off."
Keep the change. No, yeah, I take that change when we might put it in a cup for somebody that's short some change, you know,
Uh-huh.
short a penny or
Didn't
whatever, and that's what we did with that. You know.
But I didn't want it in the drawer.
No,
I want my drawer
no,
to be right.
I want to pay. And that's just like the People's Bank. Those tellers at that bank, they're responsible for that drawer. If it's over or if it's under, they gonna know about it. You know, I used to bank for the hospital every day, and they would say, hey, this check here is 50 cents short. Stick it back in the bag. We're taking it back. We're gonna get that right. You know, yeah, I want it right. So, like I said, it doesn't cause no commotion down the road.
That's right.
You
You notice
Because we got
even
state
at the
auditors that
banks,
comes in there too.
each one's got their own window and their own
That's
drawer.
right.
They don't mess around with the other ones.
That's right. You know,
Nobody messes with it.
that's right.
Something to think about.
Yes.
Uh, do you have to attend all the Chancery courts?
You know, and I'm not for sure, but I'm almost saying that you do
I
on
think-
that. I
I
think
would
you
think.
do on that, you know, so, I ain't got no problem with that. I would enjoy that, you know.
It's something, I wonder if you went to those meetings, if they're interested in, I mean, could you make suggestions or you just sit there and take minutes?
I think you're gonna sit there and take minutes. You know, I don't think you're gonna have
I was
a
wondering
say-so
about
on
that.
that. I'm gonna say you're gonna be a silent partner over here and taking minutes of what's going on with it, you know.
It don't matter what you think, just write it
No,
down.
No, that's right.
Oh, I
That's
don't
right.
know if I could do
Yeah,
that. That'd be
yeah,
hard to do.
It would be.
I'm kind of mouthy. Oh, but now they issue the money. And, and then there's a lot of other things that come under it, like adoptions.
Yes.
Is that not
That's right.
Chancery?
That's Chancery Clerk, you know.
That's hard.
A lot of your fines and stuff, like I said, comes right through there, you know.
All right,
and-
custody battles,
Mhm.
you're caught in the middle of that.
Yeah, you know,
No fun. Divorces.
that's right. That all comes through right there. So
Well, now
it's-
there's a Chancery judge that decides some of that, I think.
You're right.
I
You're
think there's a
exactly right.
judge that,
But you're just really collecting what he is, the
Information.
outcome is, whatever he ruled. You're there to collect and make sure that gets, if it's child support payments, you're there to make sure that gets collected and sent to the funds sent to the
really?
right person. You know, so
Yeah.
you're kind of in charge of that. You know, but like I said, I've not had nobody say they had no problems with that. You know, in there and stuff, and
sanity hearings.
yeah.
If I
that's
go
right.
crazy, you gotta, that's
right.
bad.
You know, we have
Yes.
some that if you have somebody that can't really make the decision for themselves, you kind of can become of a executor for that, you know, and help that person if they ain't got nobody, you know, to help that person make the decisions on stuff, you know, for the best interest for that person, you know. So
That's something we need to think about as we get older, is to make sure we have somebody.
that's right. That's
Make
right.
sure we have somebody to put in charge, somebody we trust.
That's somebody that you can trust and is going to take the best interest in taking care of you.
That's
You
right.
know, financially, health wise, you know, and everything, you know. So that's something everybody really don't think about, you know,
That's right.
until you get
Well,
in
you
that
can't plan
situation.
too far ahead,
No,
because you don't know who's gonna live and who's not.
that's right. I might outlive the person I appointed.
I did.
You know, I mean, it happens.
Yes,
It happens.
yes. Okay, wills, when you write a will, now a will can be changed.
Will can
Can
be
they
changed.
change it after they register it?
You know,
Or do
I
they
know
register
they
it?
don't register a will. I looked into that one time before, you know, thinking, okay, maybe we get this will notarized. They don't notarize a will. That's what the notary public told me then. So, you know, it's just a agreement between A and B, and when it's done, you signed off on it. You know, now as far as a living will and stuff like that, I don't know if it gets registered or not. You know,
I don't know.
I don't think it does, but you know, that might be something you have your lawyer hold up, you know, hang on to on that kind
All
of
right,
stuff.
deed transfers.
Do it now.
Deed transfers.
Deed transfers.
I'm sure that goes through Chancery.
That goes through Chancery,
Yeah.
you know, because I know there's a
And,
girl that works in there now that she's big on handling that kind of stuff, you know, and like I said, anything you buy, sell, trade, swap, land-wise, it goes through there.
And it's gotta be recorded and
It's got to
filed.
be recorded and filed in there. Sure
All right,
does.
is all of this stuff, well, life estates, I know that goes
And
through
it goes through the
Chancery.
Chancery Clerk. That's
Yeah.
right.
And just let me throw this information out there if you're making a life estate, you need to ask questions and know what you're doing, which I don't regret doing mine. But, if you outlive the one that you put on your life estate, automatically that goes to their heirs.
Okay. That's
I
right.
did not know that.
It's stuff
In
like
my
that.
case, it's okay, but
Yeah,
that might not be in your case.
that's
I
right.
don't know.
That's right.
If
That's something
you-
that somebody needs to really sit down and study and look at that, you know, type thing, you know.
They
and
don't,
stuff.
they don't tell you that up front.
No, no. I mean, and they don't tell you too. Say if my mom or whatever was going to put her in a nursing home, everything has to be out of her name for 5 years
Yes.
before. If not, that goes along with her to the nursing home,
Mm-hmm.
and they utilize that stuff up before your Medicare Medicaid pays. You know, so
If
people,
you put it in a life estate, it
That's
doesn't go.
that doesn't go. But some people
Right.
think, well, I'm just going to, you know, mom needs to be put in there or dad needs to be put in there, and they don't think about that. But once they get put in there, then they like, what? You going to get her house? And
Yeah,
so-
everything now
everything
is
they
gone.
own, you know. So people needs to kind of be up on their game on that too. That'd be
They
that's a
do.
big need.
If
to
you're
know.
getting in that position, you need to talk to somebody that knows more than we do.
That's right. That's right.
But I do know when my daughter passed, she was on my life estate. I called lawyer and I asked him what I needed to do, and he said nothing.
Nothing.
Her part goes to her heirs automatically.
That's right.
Now, if they want to sign it back to you, they can. They don't have to take it. But it goes automatically to her heirs, which would be her husband and her 2 daughters.
That's right.
If you don't like your son-in-law, chalk that up, honey. I'm blessed. I got a good one.
That's me too.
Blessed.
Me too.
But now Chancery does deal with life estates, and
That's right.
do the heirs have to go to court to get their land?
I wouldn't, unless there's an issue, I wouldn't think that you would have to go, as long as you presented that and maybe go through your attorney and they present that to the Chancery, and I think that would be sufficient. I don't think it goes to a court unless there's a big issue there, then it would go through courts.
But Chancery receives bills and petitions. And really, all the paperwork that comes to the county
That's right.
goes through Chancery, doesn't
That's
it?
how important it is.
Everything.
Everything goes right through that office right there.
Everything.
So that's a big key of whoever wins this. They got to work diligently with every supervisor.
Yeah, you can't let that get behind us.
No, you
Because
got
that's
to
a
stay on
have to
top
do
of it.
thing.
That's right. Like I said,
That's
it's
a have to do thing. And this is all public record.
all public records.
If you want to know something, just go down there at that little office. Y'all got the nicest building over there.
It is very nice.
It is
very
really nice. Used to be the bank.
I remember when it was the bank.
I
I
do
I
too.
was young,
I do
but I
too.
remember when
That's
it was
neat.
the bank. Sure did.
But that is a lot of
Yeah.
responsibility.
I asked somebody the other day, was the vault still in there? And I said,
I bet it is.
they said it was.
Ah.
I said, well, if it
It's
comes
hard
a
to
storm,
take out.
if it's a storm, I'm getting in the vault. I'm going to the vault.
Makes sense.
That's
Makes
right.
sense. But I was surprised that everything in there is public record,
That's right.
except adoptions.
Okay.
Except adoptions. Yeah, adoptions are sealed. But
It's a very, very important office, though. It's
Yes,
the most
it is.
important office in the county.
yes, it is.
In any county, to me. So
Absolutely.
there's so much activity in there, so much responsibility in there. And I think, like I said, with the leadership skills I've had in the past, and the experiences I've had in the past, I don't think I would have any problem going in there and maintaining that office.
I don't think you would either.
I just don't.
think you have any problem. This is Jimmy Johnson. He's running for Chancery Clerk in Tippah County. August the 8th, remember the name, Jimmy Johnson. This is Daryl at Daryl's Little Corner. I appreciate you coming, I really do.
Thank y'all. Thank you for inviting me here, and God bless everybody out there.
Absolutely.
And just like I said, consider me as your Chancery Clerk.
August the 8th, remember Jimmy Johnson, Chancery Clerk. This is Daryl at Daryl's Little Corner. May God bless.